But yes, we are ready here, Master. YouTube is live.
I hear you. Thank you. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you all for coming and joining us. We continue with our nightly Dharma lectures during this 4G here. Let's continue listening to Master YongHua's instructions.
Thus, the verse says, among the Buddhas of the 10 directions and the 3 periods of time.
十方就是方才所讲的上方、下方、东方、西方、南方、北方、东南方、西南方、西北方、东北方。
The 10 directions refer to above, below, east, west, south, north, southeast, southwest, northeast, and northwest.
那么这四方加上四隅，再加上下这个合起来，这叫十方。
That is the 4 cardinal directions, the 4 intermediate directions, plus above and below, comprise the 10 directions.
十方世界都有佛，这个十方世界有多少佛呢？
There are Buddhas in worlds throughout the 10 directions. How many Buddhas are there throughout the 10 directions?
有这个微尘数那么多佛，有这个无量无量的微尘数世界那么多的佛。
They are infinite and limitless, as numerous as the motes of dust in the worlds.
这佛我再告诉你们，有多少人呢，就有多少佛，有多少众生就有多少佛。
As I told you before, there are as many Buddhas as there are people. There are as many Buddhas as there are living beings.
这佛是另外一个世界是俺们看不见的，凡夫肉眼看不见的。
However, the Buddhas exist in a different realm which we ordinary beings cannot see with our naked eyes.
但是你要开了五眼，随时随地都有佛，就在。
However, if you were to open the 5 spiritual eyes, you will see Buddhas everywhere and all the time.
在那一粒微尘里头，也有无量的佛在那说法。一粒微尘的里边，那么小的一。
In a single dust mote, there are infinitely many Buddhas speaking the Dharma.
一个粒微尘，能有无量的佛在那转法轮，教化众生。
In such a tiny space of a single decimal, infinite numbers of Buddhas are turning the Dharma wheel to teach and transform living beings.
这个世界有多少世界呢？这个世界也有微尘数那么多的世界，不是就我们这个娑婆世界这么。
How many worlds are there? Worlds are also as numerous as decimals. The Saha world of ours is not the only world.
一个世界，这个世界有些就像一个网似的，就像那个打鱼的网啊那么样子。这世界也有它一定的轨道啊，也有它一定的这个次第啊，不是乱的。
This world is just like a fishnet. Every world has its own orbit and its own place in an orderly fashion. It's not chaotic.
所以啊，这个世界是很多的，佛呢也是很多的。所以说，十方三世佛，三世就是。
There are many worlds and also many Buddhas. So we talk about the Buddhas of the 10 directions and the 3 periods of time.
过去世、现在世、未来世，这叫三世啊。这个三世都有佛。
The 3 periods of time are the past, present, and future. There are Buddhas in all 3 periods of time.
过去的佛是一成佛，现在的世是今成佛，未来世是当成佛。
The Buddhas of the past have already become Buddhas. The Buddhas of the present are becoming Buddhas now. And the Buddhas of the future will become Buddhas later.
那么，当成佛，谁是当成佛呢？你我他一切众生都是未来的当成佛。
Who are Buddhas to be? You, me, him, and all living beings are future Buddhas to be.
啊，未来的佛啊，就是你我他这一切的众生。
Future Buddhas are you, me, him, and all living beings.
都是未来的诸佛。那么，所以我们修道的人看呢，一切的这个众生都是过去生的父母所有的这个众生都是我们过去生生世世的父母，未来的诸佛。
We who cultivate the way should regard all beings as having been our parents in many past lives and as Buddhas of the future.
都是将来的这个诸佛，你能这样看这个对一切众生就都会恭敬了，都会爱护了。为什么要恭敬？就因为他是未来的诸佛。
With this outlook, we will respect all living beings and cherish and protect them. Why should we respect them? They will be future Buddhas.
为什么要爱护他？因为他是过去我生生世世的父母。
Why should we cherish and protect them? They have been our parents in life after life.
你要能这样想， 和所有的人都会有缘的，都会没有怨仇的。
With this kind of attitude, we will have affinities with everyone and will not resent anyone.
所以你能这样子来观想，这是真正的信佛的。
To make this contemplation is to have genuine faith in the Buddha.
那么这个十方三世佛阿弥陀第一，
The verse says, among the Buddhas of the 10 directions and the 3 periods of time, Amitabha is number 1.
阿弥陀佛他是最第一的他用这个九品来教化众生。
Amitabha Buddha is the foremost. He teaches beings about the 9 grades of lotuses and transform them.
Okay, let's revisit what my master just talked about. That's a lot he went through. Anyone has any questions, any doubts at all about what he talked about? Okay. He talked about the concept of Buddha's 10 directions and the 3 periods of time. So 10 directions refers to all over the universe. Okay. And he says that there are infinite number of Buddhas in the 10 directions. Each Buddha land has been created by a Buddha. When you become a Buddha, you create your own Buddha land. Okay. So and that's why, as it stands today, there are infinite number of Buddha lands already. We have infinite number of Buddhas throughout the 10 directions. Any problems with that? So the universe is actually infinite. And there, the infinite me is so infinite and is so dense that you can have as many Buddhas, many Buddha lands as there are dust motes in the world. It's really a mind-blowing concept when you think about it. Okay, in a single dust mote, a tiny dust mote there, the infinite number of Buddhas and Buddha lands. Yes, 5.
我现在的理解是，我不知道理解对不对，就是说，如果说那边有一个世界，然后有无数多的世界在一个微尘里面，那是不是就是说没有我们现在所理解的时间和空间的概念 ？No time and no space and time， yeah。请 Master 指教。
7.
Thank you, Master. This is the translation of the question. So he said, Master YongHua just said, this in a dust mode, there are numerous world. And does this mean the concept of time and the space in our world, his understanding, it's no longer valid?
I cannot answer you whether it's valid, invalid. It's beyond my comprehension. But what he's talking about here is that the teaching point here is that it's there are infinite number of worlds, infinite number of Buddha lands. They are present in a single dust motes. And this is mind-blowing to us, so it defies our intellect, defies our logic, defies our comprehension. And therefore, what is the point? The point here is that if you use your intellect, your thinking mind, to try to understand it, you'll never be able to. Remember the concept here, if you trust this teaching, then there's an infinite number of Buddhas in Buddha land, one single dust motes. If you hear the word infinite, then it tells you right there that you can try to illuminate them, you can try to study them all you want with your intellect, you'll never be able to. So therefore, the intellectual approach to try to understand this concept, Buddhist concept, this Buddhist wisdom, is inadequate. It has to be another form of comprehension, another form of understanding that's called wisdom. Okay? It's not intellectual at all. And that's what the point here to me is. It used to bother me because I sort of backed off and said, oh, I can't understand it, therefore I'm a failure. No, that's not the point. The point here is that it's not possible for us to comprehend intellectually. And this is a gift for us. It tells us that our intellect, our thinking has limitations. It works fine with losers. But it doesn't work in the real world, where if you look at the bigger picture, our intellect is really so limited, so minute in its capacity, if you will. And therefore, you should be more humble. Therefore, you should be less attached. We're so impressed by wealthy people, by fame, profit speaking. You measure fame by how many people follow you on YouTube, maybe, on TikTok, maybe. Okay, it is so finite. It's nothing. Okay, so the world is a lot bigger, a lot broader, a lot more fantastic, if you will. And this Buddhism thing here, we're working, especially even this Pure Land Dharma door we're practicing today, this week, okay? Will enable us to open our mind so that our mind will be one day be able to understand this concept. That's to me, that's what the point here is. Trying to understand it is not possible. So the only way, this is another important point to be made here, the only way for you to understand it is to have faith. That's it. That's the only way for you to hope to be able to grasp it one of these days in the future. Is that clear? Because to try to measure it, to try to size it up, is not possible for us. It's futile, if you will. Okay? And the Buddhas have better things to do than just trying to impress us. They're trying to share with us this Buddha's wisdom, which he also says that we are able to develop ourselves, to unfold ourselves, that we already have. Okay, so the intellectual approach to try to access this Buddha wisdom here is not going to work. Okay, whereas this Pure Land Dharma door here, it sounds real simple. You recite the Buddha's name, and then hopefully you get reborn to Amitabha, Buddha's Pure Land, and so forth. He will teach you, and with his help, his guidance, his teachings, you'll be able to understand that. All right? You'll be able to unfold this Buddha wisdom you have. Okay? So that's why this, to me, it helps me see the big picture, that let's not be so attached to this world here, to what we have here, because it's only temporary. It's such a tiny, it's just a speck in the universe. It really, what we have here, what we attain here, we accomplish here, is really, really nothing at all in the scheme of things. Okay? Think bigger. Don't be so narrow-minded, if you will. Okay? And this is what Buddhist wisdom is about. Let go. There's no way for your mind to comprehend the infinite unless you're able to let go. Okay? And it's much harder, easier said than done. Because I came back here from Korea and look at this Buddha hall, look at this thing here for the first few days, it's a mess. Okay, and all of a sudden, you clean up and now you have this beautiful, beautiful adorned altar. And I can't express enough to you my gratitude in the hard work and the care you put into this. Look at this, I look at this and say, oh, I would never do this. Okay, this is insane. Because few months when the real statues come, we'll destroy it again. I'm sure you don't want to hear it, okay? But this it starts with that. In order to achieve the infinite, you start with that in this Pure Land Dharma door here. And you start with how you get reborn to the Pure Land. You get reborn to the Pure Land by adorning the Pure Land. Did you know that? I know the Chinese and the Taiwanese teach you when you practice the Pure Land, you need to recite Buddha's name and so forth. Really, the Buddha's teaching is that you want to be born to Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. You adorn my my Pure Land. And this is one way to adorn his Pure Land, because people will come here and like to this week here, I'm impressed. I said, my God, this is in Pure Land is nice. Pure Land Dharma door is nice. It's compared to my Wei Mountain Temple Pure Land Dharma door, which is ugly. We're cheap, okay? So there, your mind have to develop this faith in Buddhist teaching here. Okay? That's the only way for you to make it. Okay. So you see, this Pure Land Dhamma door is also a state of infinity. It's infinite. It's not the way you think. It's just the way that the Asian practice right now is just, I just want to go to the Pure Land. No. The Pure Land is, Dhamma door is help you unfold your wisdom right now as well. Okay? And he says, Buddha exists in different realms, which we ordinary beings cannot see with our naked eyes. It's a little bit confusing. There are different kinds of Buddhas, Amitabha Buddha, Shakmina Buddha, transformation body Buddhas, therefore we can see them. It's on by design. They want us to see them so that we can, it's more easy for us to connect with them and build our faith. Okay, but the real Buddhas, meaning Vairochana Buddha or the Dharma body Buddha, that's one of the three bodies of the Buddhas. You cannot see them. So he's referring to that's his concept as well. Okay, you cannot see the reward body Buddha, you cannot see the Dharma body Buddha, you can see the transformation body Buddha of Shakyamuni Buddha. And the scholars, they started discussing Amitabha Buddha. Is it a reward body, or is it is it a transformation body? I don't know. Okay, more likely is reward body, it could also be transformation body. Who knows? Okay, that's the whole point. And the whole point is that you know that this Dharma door here will bring you to the main thing is bring you to a place where you can become a Buddha, guaranteed. Okay, such one of the coolest bits of information in Buddhism I found to be fascinating. Okay, open your five spiritual eyes, you can see Buddhas everywhere and all the time. This is not true either, because you can't open the five eyes, not you. Okay, you can open some eyes, but you can open the five eyes. Okay, so the Chinese, this is what I reproach the Chinese. It's too casual for us Westerners who are educated, who don't speak Cantonese. We don't talk like this. Okay, for you to see the Buddhas you can't see, you need to open your Buddha eye. How's that? For precision. And you can't open your Buddha eyes until you become a Buddha. Okay? How is that? Okay? So don't tell me that you can't see and when you open your five eyes, I mean, Jesus. I need to know now. Okay? YouTube question, go ahead.
There are two questions. The first one's from Diego. Amitabha Master, what are the 9 grades?
What are what?
What are the 9 grades?
Oh, we're coming to that. Okay.
And the second question is from Apple, Way Mountain Apple. Master, who is the now becoming Buddha, Jing Chen Fo, since we're the future Buddhas?
Let me do some Google stuff. Okay, we're coming to that. Okay, anyone, any other questions? Okay, so in a single dust mode, there are infinitely many Buddhas speaking the Dharma. Okay, it's not something we can understand, but this is what the sages can comprehend. Okay, unfortunately, this is not something that our founder of the Pure Land School in China, Master Huiyue, can even see that. Okay? So, I'm telling you this because you still have to believe it. Okay? It's useless for you to try to understand, just say, hey, if the Buddha says so, I believe so. That's good enough for me. Okay? It's funny because Master YongHua talked about this, whereas the other teachers talk about just rebirth. So his Pure Land Dharma door is very, very comprehensive, very profound. In tiny space or single dust mode, infinite number of Buddhas are turning a Dharma wheel to teach and transform living beings. Yes, Buddhas will go anywhere and everywhere to teach living beings. Believe that. Okay? It's like you make an offering to any of these Buddhas, okay? Or any of these Bodhisattvas. Wherever you go, they're going to pursue you to death until they pay you back. That's what it means. Okay? But the Chinese, they put it so elegantly. They're turning a Dharma wheel. For us Americans, why are they turning a Dharma wheel? What for? To pay us back. That's why. Okay? Buddha's job is to go and find Ray and pay him back. Okay? And you, special people, as well. All right. How many worlds are there? As world as numerous as dust motes. As long as there are living beings in the world, the more worlds will be created to make it easier to help those living beings. So with the more, you have more choices. Okay? So this How world is not the only world. Again, think bigger. In the scheme of things, this How world where we are, really a speck of dust. Not even that in the entire universe. Okay? So don't think so highly of yourself. You're special to me, but not, really that special. Truthfully speaking. Yeah? Okay. And the world is like a fishnet. Every world has its own orbit, has its own place in an orderly fashion. It's not chaotic. It's true. Worlds are created and they're very orderly. They're governed, they're ruled with an iron fist. Okay? So it seems like the demons having an upper hand right now, but it's not the way you think. Okay? It's called karmic retributions. Okay? So it's happening for a reason. Okay? So when you're in trouble, don't revolt and said, how come I've been a good person, I've been a Buddhist, I believe in Buddha, and Buddha still let bad things happen to me. And my answer is, talk to your husband. Talk to your wife. Go home and tell, what did you do today, honey, for bad things that happened to me? Okay? There are many worlds, many Buddhas, 10 directions, 3 periods of time. Okay, now we're coming to the question. The second question. We have Buddhas of the past, like Shakyamuni Buddha. We are future Buddhas. Where are the present Buddhas? None your business. No? Anyone knows where the present Buddhas are? Anyone? Yes, 4.
Thank you, Master. They're right here in San Francisco at Dharma Treasury Temple listening to the Dharma talk.
You have the award for the most insincere person. Wei Meng, question.
Well, actually, Master, it's a comment. What happened to you, Peter? You turned
He used to be so
you.
honest and
well,
okay.
I was just
Ask his
say,
wife. Is the answer.
I was just going to say that the Buddhas are all around us. We just can't see them.
Oh, it sounds like she's from the Catholic persuasion. Trust me, God is omnipresent. So are Buddhas. Sounds familiar?
Maybe.
The concept here is that, remember, in this universe, in this Dharma realm, there are infinitely many worlds, many Buddha lands. Our Buddha land right now is called Saha world. Okay? Does it have a current Buddha or not? Answer is no. Why do you look at me like that? What's the matter with you? Is it too much for you? Right now, there's no Buddha here. He died already. He's dead, right? So Shakyamuni Buddha is a Buddha of the past. Yes? Okay. Maitreya is a Buddha of the future. For Apple to say well, Buddha's future is kind of arrogant, if you will. We are quite a while before Apple. Because of that, Apple will have to wait for a long, long time before she becomes a Buddha. Okay, I would never talk like that myself. Okay, but Maitreya is the incoming Buddha. He'll be here around 16 million years later. Okay, you can wait that long. Okay, so what do? Now we should look at the current Buddhas, the present Buddhas. Who are the present Buddhas? Of course, they're Buddhas who are presently teaching in other worlds. Yes? So that's why the concept of Buddhas of the 3 periods of time, the Buddhas in the past, Buddhas in the future, and Buddhas right now, who are turning a Dharma wheel, who are teaching, who are actively trying to save living beings. So the present Buddhas are not here in this Buddha land, but they're somewhere else. Such as, one such Buddha you know of is Amitabha Buddha. Is the present Buddha? Yes or no? Okay. Buddhas have already become Buddha. Buddha in the present becoming Buddhas now. And Buddha's in the future become Buddhas later. No. Buddha of the past are done teaching. The Chinese, the way they explain it, a little bit too casual for me. Okay, the scholars would smirk at us. Okay, Buddhism past means they done teaching. That's why they passed. Okay, they became Buddhas. Not the whole point. They done teaching. That's all we care about. Buddhas of the future. Okay, they will teach in the future, like Maitreya. He's waiting for a chance to teach us. Why? Because he's lazy. He's going to teach us, and it has to be the right time, the right condition for him to teach us. Otherwise, he says, I'm not going to teach you. He's a Buddha. When you're a Buddha, you can do whatever you please. Don't complain. You can file a complaint with the Buddha's Association, but I have nothing to do with it. So far, so good. What about Buddhas of the present? Okay, meaning the Buddhas who are teaching right now. There's so many of them right now who are teaching. That's all. Is that clear? And it's just, unfortunately, you can't go. You can't approach them. This is our problem. This is our constraints. Okay, since this is what we are, this is our conditions. Therefore, it's a reminder that we should definitely seek rebirth to the Western Bliss Field Land, where you can find a Buddha who will teach you personally. That's ideal. That's the one you know of, who's teaching right now. So go there. Okay? Don't wait for Maitreya. Don't take that chance. Okay? That's too long. So far, so good? Who are Buddhas to be? You and me, future, living being, future Buddhas? Yeah, I guess. I hope so. See, so the Chinese, they say, you, me, you're so special and so forth. Too commercial. Future Buddhas, you, me, and all living beings. Yeah. So far away. We who cultivate it, we should regard all living as having been our parents in many past lives as Buddhas of the future. This is a concept that I struggle a little bit, that all of you were my parents. I just can't envision it. I can't envision him being my parent. My parent in the past. I mean, no wonder I struggle so much. It's kind of funny when you think about it, huh? But it's true. It turns out that we've been revolving the wheel. The concept is there. We've been revolving the wheel since beginningless time. We've been doing this for so long. We're so adept at this. adept at this that we don't question it anymore. We get so conditioned to it. We look forward to doing it, next lifetime, and on and on and on. Okay, that we don't think it's a big deal to try to escape, to get out of here. Look around us. Look around you. Look how much suffering there is. When I see something like this, a fancy altar here, I know that some people are suffering. Who's suffering? Huh? The families of those of you who, instead of using this money to spend on your families, you spend on these silly fabric things. Okay? Your family is suffering. They say, oh my God, this is what the Buddhists are about. They suck our money for cheap thrills. That will last for a few months only. You see, they're suffering internally. And this is why I would never ask you to do this. Okay? But this is so much suffering. That's why the Buddhas are extremely busy. Okay, and for this outlook, we respect all beings, to cherish and protect them. Okay, cherish and protect. Future Buddhas. Okay. Any questions about this? There was another question too. The first question I forgot. Anyone remember what the first question from Diego was?
What are the 9 grades?
We're coming to that. With attitude, we have affinity with everyone. We will not resent anyone. I sometimes prefer to have bad affinities with people. Okay? Yeah. Because it works both ways. When you have affinity, good affinity with people, they come back and they will be more receptive to your help because you owe them. But there are some people that you have antagonistic relationship or stuff, then they come now. They look for you to try to pick a fight with you. It's kind of cool. Okay, so that's the other way as well. Okay, then you have a chance to beat them up again. Never mind. So Asian, so non-confrontational. To make this contemplation, to have genuine faith in the Buddha. Okay. Among the Buddhas of 10 directions, the 3 periods of time, Amitabha is number 1. Chinese. I don't want to talk like that. Okay. Too Chinese. Why do you have to rank Buddhas? That's what bothers me. Okay? What's important to me personally is I'm able to draw near a Buddha, any Buddha, okay? So that I can learn from the Buddha because my own teacher deserted me. So now I have this complex of inferiority that my own teacher didn't want me at all. Okay? You didn't know that? It's a wound that never healed. It hasn't healed yet. Okay, so now I have this thirst to have a teacher who will, will care for me and will not ever desert me again. Okay, and therefore, I know one, Amitabha Buddha, will never desert me. He will help me until I become a Buddha. If I'm too slow, I'm too lazy, then his lieutenant, Wanyin Bodhisattva, will help me. And if I'm still too lazy, then Great Strength Bodhisattva will help me. You see? He's making all the arrangements to take care of me. Okay? So that's the Buddha I'm looking for. Okay? I would love to go to Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. Okay? But for me to say I'll go there because he's number one, why would I do that? I don't want to offend Medicine Master Buddha. I don't want to offend Maitreya Buddha. You never know who you're going to meet them, when you're going to run into them again. Why do you have to rank them by number one, number two? They're all special, remember? Buddhists too are all special. Okay, too Chinese. You agree? I mean, the Chinese is too, you know, too Chinese. No, these Chinese have been deluded. They are more westernized already. Okay, he teaches being about the 9 grades. Okay, so this refers to the social status in the Pure Land. Okay, again, the Pure Land, Western Bliss Pure Land, is also very orderly. Okay, it has social statuses, social stations. Okay, where you will belong there because of your, of your blessings, of your skills, your wisdom, and so forth. So that means that you have to earn it. It's not given to you. Okay, so the nine grades. This refers to their lower level, middle level, and upper grade, and so forth. Lower, middle, upper. Okay, and then lower has 3. Low, upper, middle. Middle has 3. Middle, lower. Middle, upper. And then upper has 3. And so you have a 9 there. Okay, and then each 9 also has 3 more levels, I think. Okay, so somehow mathematically, okay, it multiplies to 81. You can ask the science teacher here, a scientist here. Okay, but you calculate all the different. It's very, very minutely, very detailed description of various grade levels, if you will. Okay, and that define your status, your social status. Okay, unlike us here in the South world, only 2 classes, right? The have and the have-nots. The middle class is disappearing, so we belong to the have-nots. Yes or no? Okay. Yeah. Never mind. Especially that it's the way the stocks are going. Pandemic was. I was not threatened by the pandemic, but with the stock market going the way it's going right now, and then the interest rate, our donations are drying up. Let me tell you, it's catching up with us. YouTube, go ahead.
This question is from Bhante Varapanyo. Master, not relying on forms, what distinguishes Mahayana from Hinayana?
Oh, sacrilege. You don't use the word Hinayana. It's too insulting. It's Theravada. I went to Korea, and this hotshot interviewer from one of the bigger Buddhist stations interviewed me and chided me on the air. Why do you use Hinayana? Anyway, so what differentiates Mahayana from Hinayana? Okay, and I answered the guy. I said, historically, I need to emphasize this for you because there's a lot of people like that in the Western world and nowadays, and they're very offended by that. and I apologize to them. I will not change. No matter how offended you are, I will not change. I don't care. Okay? Why not? I do care. Okay? But not as much as you think. Why don't I care? It's because this is how the Buddha taught us. It's called 3 vehicles. Okay? The vehicles of, what are the 3 vehicles? 2 major vehicles, Hinayana and Mahayana. And the third one being the Buddha vehicle, if you will. So far, so good. We don't consider Sister Victorina's Catholicism to be a vehicle at all. Okay? Vehicle is a special thing where you're able to carry. Okay? A vehicle is supposed to ferry being from danger to safety. That's a concept of vehicle in Buddhism. Okay? So for you, for the Catholics, to only bring them to the heavens is not considered safety for us, Buddhists. Okay? So that's why we don't call them vehicles, if you will. However, in Buddhism, we have the 3 vehicles, where the Hinayana is a sound hearer vehicles, where they are able to help, okay, ferry a bunch of people, a small number of people to safety, okay? So whereas Mahayana, Maha is big, meaning that it can ferry a far greater number of living beings to safety. That's the first difference. Capacity. Okay? How many people can you save, if you will? How many people can you help? How many people can you carry on your back? Okay? Because helping living beings has this annoying characteristic. You have to carry them on your back because they refuse to go. They said, "You want to save me? Save me." Isn't that what you all do? You say, I will pretend to sit in full lotus and so forth. But eventually, Master will have to carry me on his back to the Pure Land. That's why you're all applauding. I can see that already, especially Peter. Okay? And so in Buddhism, this is the Buddhist understanding, wisdom. To save living beings, we have to haul them, we have to carry them ourselves. We cannot expect others to do it for us. Okay? So the Hinayana is a teaching where the Buddha says, I will teach you a set of skills to enable you to save. Who? Yourself. So that it lightens my load, if you will. Because, so it serves a very important purpose, because if you save yourself, then, okay, you teach people who save themselves, so it really lightens the load when you think about it. Okay? So it's very useful to the Buddhists. However, it has a caveat. That makes a huge difference between Hinayana and Mahayana, not only because of the incapacity. Hinayana, you save yourself. The practice is in order to free you from suffering. Is that clear? If you feel you're suffering and you want to end your suffering, you have 2 ways. You have do Hinayana way or Mahayana way. Hinayana way, you will achieve the objective of putting an end to all your suffering. All of it. That's guaranteed. That's a promise. Okay? However, these Hinayana practitioners, they accomplish the state where they actually put an end to all the sufferings. And then they said, wow, this is so cool. Let me share it with my followers. Okay? The one who've been giving me rice. You know how they do it in Hinayana? Huh? No sushi. God, you are so obsessed with sushi. You Illinois people. Kimbap? No kimbap. No. Hinayana. Okay? What happened? Before these arhats, you don't know the story? What? Where have you been? Oh, America, sorry. In Hinayana, the monks, when they cultivate and they're faithful, come and offer them food. Unlike here in Mahayana, here in our Mahayana temple, you come and say, hey, master, would you like some cookies? Okay? You cannot do that in Hinayana. There's a distance. You can approach so far, so close, and then you have to stop. Okay? So what happened is that in Hinayana, this is how they train their followers. And when they see you coming with a bowl of rice, bowl of food, sushis, okay? They throw their a piece of cloth, okay? Like my sitting cloth right there. So he throws it out like that, okay? And then you, if you're female, by the way, okay, male is okay. Male, you're special. But female, even more special treatment. So females, you have to go like this. You cannot look at him in the eyes. Remember? Please don't do that. They get they get uncomfortable. Okay, so before they became an arhat and they're practicing, and you feel like offering food to them, so you bring some food over, and he sees you coming. Okay, especially you female, and you look at, and you should lower your eyes. Okay, and not look at him anymore, or look at the cloth, the sitting cloth he's sitting in, and then all of a sudden you see a piece of cloth being kind of thrown at you, and so that's when you that's all you see. You're not supposed to look up. You hear? Close your mouth. What is the matter with you? Go to Burma, and you know what I mean. So your eyes are like this. You're not supposed to look up to the monk, okay? Okay? Not supposed to smile at him either. Don't do that, okay? So as you go like this, and you look at the cloth here, that's what you're supposed to look at, and you get closer, you lower you get more. You get closer, you lower your head, okay? And lower your gaze. And then you get close, and you see the cloth there, and you put the cloth, and in those Chinese movies? Not quite like it, but if you do that, the monks will be so impressed, okay? And then what do the monks do? It's like from here to the flower thing here, okay? This beautiful bouquet here. So the cloth is like that, okay? And then the monk will then roll it and pull it towards him. That's how it works. That's how you make offerings. Don't come too close, okay? Oh no, I should open a can of worms. Okay, comments, questions, criticism. Hey, listen, I'm Mahayana, first of all. Don't blame me. Yes, 7.
Thank you, Master. I just couldn't help to comment on there's so many steps, even more complicated than, say, doing electron microscopy experiments. So there are so many false thoughts will be attachments when you use that kind of cloth. Is it clean? And how big is the cloth? So on and so forth. Do you use a black one or white one? Or with Burmese, they use the British kind of plaid pattern. And it's not even native. And, it's related to their colonial history. Thank you.
I will refrain from adding fuel to the fire. Okay. But it's kind of funny because that's what they do. They roll it up so you cannot get close, and there's a clear physical distance. Okay? But remember, they understand that they remember that because they owe you. Okay? They owe you in their practice. They owe you your support. That's why. The good ones, they feel obligated to teach you, to be able to experience the freedom, the wisdom, and the end of the suffering, and the happiness these arhats and pratyeka Buddhas experience. All right? So that's why the Hinayana vehicle is very nice in the sense that they can transmit that knowledge and help their followers attain put an end to the suffering too. Okay? But it's very limited. They can only help a limited number of people because their purpose, Hinayana versus Mahayana, and Hinayana purpose is that I'm going to cultivate, I'm going to meditate in order to end my suffering. Whereas in Mahayana, we meditate in order to put an end to our suffering first. Let me be clear about this, okay? You need to put an end to your suffering first, okay? Because once you put an end to your suffering, then you will not be as confused by others' suffering. Because if you haven't put an end to your own suffering yet, you approach someone like Dewey here. You know how much he suffers? Ask his wife. His wife says, he eats too much, he sleeps too much, What else? What else is a problem? Doesn't make enough money, and on and on and on. That's a lot of suffering, you see? And so when others people suffer like that, and you have not put an end to your suffering, you'll be affected by the suffering. It will confuse you. Today, I talked to a few people who have not put an end to their own suffering. Therefore, when they try to help others, what happens to them? They become overwhelmed. They become stressed out. Sound familiar? See, the professor here proudly says, I have 12 disciples. 12 disciples went from 6 to 12. You see, that's a lot of suffering. But it's still a limited number of suffering. But then, because you keep on adding more, you're going to go crazy. Okay? Because you have not put an end to your suffering yet. So in Buddhism, Mahayana, we understand that. We know that before we can help others, before we pretend to try to help others, we should put an end to our suffering first. Then we learn how to help others. That's the difference, is that Hinayana, Mahayana is a difference in goals. The goals in Hinayana is put an end to your own suffering, okay? And they're pretty good at doing that. In Mahayana, our goal is put an end to others' suffering. Ours not that important. Does it make sense? So the goals are quite different because of that. Okay? If you put yourself first, okay, you get there. But it will be a dead end. Can you see that? If you look at yourself, you spend your entire life indulging yourself. Drinking, eating, smoking, sleeping, and so forth. Okay? There's no end to it. Yes? So that's what happens. When you only try to make yourself happy, you are limited. You will not go very far. And that's because of that, Because of that, your wisdom is very limited. Whereas if your goal is to help others, like in Mahayana, people like us, special people like you, who resolve to help others end the suffering, then you go a lot further, number one. Number two, because there's so many living beings to save, therefore we cannot afford to wait for you forever. Does it make sense? Hinayana said, if you're going to save yourself, take your time. Makes no difference. You save yourself next week or the following month or next year. Makes no difference. You only save yourself, right? That's the end goal. Whereas over in Mahayana, our goal is to help save living beings. Can we afford to wait? Because the longer we wait, the fewer we can save. So the point I'm trying to make here is that the Hinayana, the Mahayana people fail to stress this. Okay? In Mahayana, our training program is much faster in Hinayana. I'm proud to tell you that. Because we cannot wait. We cannot afford to wait for you forever. There are too many living beings to save. So therefore, in Hinayana, we go a lot farther. We got there a lot sooner. The fruition's a lot sooner than Hinayana people can muster or have the technology or the wisdom to manage that. Okay? So those are the two major things I like to answer this Bhante thing here. There's a lot more, of course, but from her perspective, that's what I would like to point out. Okay? It's a scope. One self versus all living beings. Okay? And so you see it's no comparison. There's a difference in your heart size. You only want to save yourself. Your own end goal is to save yourself versus the heart of someone who tries to save all the losers in the world. Okay? It takes a special kind of person to be willing to do that. Okay? So that's a difference in the heart, okay? In the results. And number two is that from this Bhante's perspective, I can assure Bhante that Mahayana training is a lot faster, a lot more powerful than Hinayana training. I think very few teachers dare say that. But because I've seen many programs. I was initially impressed with the Hinayana training, in particular the Thai people. I'm very impressed with the Thai Hinayana system. I think it's one of the best in the world, if not the best. Okay, I'm very impressed with that. And then I saw my master's programs. I saw the Tibetan and Taiwanese and so forth. And I found that our American style of Mahayana is faster because we're more impatient. All right, I hope it helps. Any other questions? So going back to the concept of 9 grades, 9 grades are your social status, if you will, something you earn like everywhere else in the world. Okay, your status is earned by you, not given to you. It's not something you can give to your children. It's something every one of us gets because we're entitled to it, because we work for it. We all have to work for it. Okay? And so meaning that your cultivation right now, what's relevant to you is that your cultivation right now, why are you crossing your legs and enduring all this hardship and all this discomfort? Because it helps improve your rebirth grade. That's the purpose. Okay? We're using your time here in Sao world to to improve your rebirth rate a lot faster than if you were able to do that in a Western bliss pure land. It's quite a bit slower there. Okay, go ahead. 5.
Yeah, thank you, Master. Let me try to speak English this time. Just now you mentioned the Mahayana suggests the people better to end the suffering first, then teach others. So my question is, how do we know one person has ended the suffering and he is qualified to teaching others for Mahayana? Yeah, thank you, Master.
Okay, translate into Chinese. No Chinese? Yeah. Why do you translate for me? His English is fine. Okay.
Her English much better than me. I don't know many Buddhism vocabulary.
Buddhist jargons, yeah, okay, fine. Okay, me neither. That's why my talks are always very simple. Yes, no. Yes, ma'am. That kind of thing. So how do you know? Good question. This is why, one of the reasons why I respect the Thai people, the Thai Buddhist structure. They know. They're certified. So in Thai, for example, you call a Phra Sam Ray, Phra something. That means you ended your suffering. It's called great Arhat, if you will. Okay? So this is, whereas in the other countries, it's not as specific, because in the Thai system, they have this structure on top, this committee on top, who have the wisdom to be able to recognize it, and they will recognize you by giving you a title and nominating you a general, you're a colonel, you are, keep working at it, and that kind of thing. So you know, the disciples know when you're a Phra, you go and make offerings to them. Don't hesitate. It's cool. Okay? So even the Phra has levels. Phras can be colonel, could be brigadier general, could be lieutenant general, could be, and so forth. So they have a clear hierarchy. So you can count on that, which is very remarkable. So you go to Thailand, you want to learn Buddhism and the practice from them, you can eventually figure out what is your teachers. Is a Phra or not? What kind of Phra is he? Okay? So the reason I know is because here in Los Angeles, I don't know up north, but Los Angeles, I know of some Phras and different levels, colonels and generals and so forth. So far, so good. Okay, so I like it. I really like it, because in the Thai system, unlike the other countries in Asia, there's a clear hierarchy, clear echelon, and they actually give you those designations that you can believe. Okay, it's safe. Whereas the other countries, they don't have such a luxury for the Buddhist disciples. All right, so I highly recommend, for those of you who believe in Hinayana and want to follow Hinayana, go to Thailand. Okay, I would go to Thailand first. Yeah. Many people went to Thailand and learned, and they became arhats and so forth. Okay, yeah. So the track record is very, very impressive. Whereas in Mahayana, the Chinese system, and again, I plead ignorance because I don't know much about the Indian system anymore. I think the Indian system is not as strong anymore, so it's a moot point. But the Chinese system, what I learned from a Chinese teacher is that they have this patriarch hierarchy, where you designate a patriarch. That means you enlighten, number one, you enlighten, and number two, it's your responsibility to teach, to save living beings, to help save living beings. Okay? That's how you can tell. So in a Chinese system, which is not in America yet, unfortunately it's not here in the US. Okay? But if you were in China up until the time of Master YongHua, you designated a patriarch, you know, someone who's been designated as a patriarch, you know he's enlightened. Okay? And he's certified, he's a certified teacher. And therefore, when you learn from him, you know you're learning proper Dharma, learning the right kind of Buddhism. So for example, before Master YongHua was Master Xu Yun, so the previous patriarch, Master Xu Yun, okay, has a lot of good disciples. But my point here is that then Master YongHua, who did not train from under Master Xu Yun, came to see Master Xu Yun to receive certification to be a teacher. Okay? And then he went his own ways. And so the patriarchs, the role of the patriarch is seems to be twofold. Okay, number one is that they have this designation so that it gives us the comfort and the peace of mind to know that the Dharma is still being taught. You can learn the proper Dharma. It's still in the world. So as long as someone called patriarch, it's still here in the world. Because when there's no more patriarch, then no one can teach you the proper Dharma anymore. You have no chances. Okay? And so that's a very important designation to me in my mind, that there's a patriarch, meaning that the Dharma is still in the world, so keep looking, you will find the proper Dharma, if you will. Don't go to Hinayana yet, if you will. So far, so good. Because one day when we no longer have a patriarch, Mahayana, then my next recommendation for you is go look Hinayana. So far, so good. Okay, if you want to learn right now. Okay, and so I will tell you go to Hinayana and try to get reborn to Western Bliss Pure Land at your next step. Okay, but do not waste time looking for, because if no more patriarch, then forget it. So this patriarch here, for example, in the U.S., this American patriarch here, I finally am reconciled with his role. His role is to reassure me and all of us that the Dharma is here in the U.S. Okay, so keep looking. Okay, there's teachers here in the U.S. That's the main thing. And so that's how you recognize it. You recognize the fact that instead of going to China, for example, you should not. I'll be blunt with you. You go to China, it's not as good as staying here because the patriarch is here. The patriarch is in America. Master YongHua has made such an announcement already. It's here, meaning that you want to learn Mahayana right now, people need to come to the U.S. Should not go to China, if you will. Okay? And so that's how you can tell where physically, geographically you should be. Okay? You have to go to the U.S. because the teacher is here that will teach you Mahayana. Question?
So, Bhante Varapano says, Master, I'm so impressed by your great and profound wisdom. You have expressed the great paths of Mahayana. And he or she also asked, who is the American patriarch? And there's also another question.
It's for me to know and for you to find out. I assure you that I know him, and he knows about me. Okay? We just don't like each other, that's all. He has his ways, his things. I have my things. I'm too American.
There's one more question from 平等清净. Master is 过去无量亿劫千光王进驻世尊 referred to great strength Bodhisattva since 过去无量劫正法明世尊 was 观音.
So is there a question?
So is the 过去无量亿劫千光王进驻世尊 referred to great strength Bodhisattva? That's the question.
Probably. I don't know. Is there a point here? Why do you need to know whether it's this name or the other name? How does it affect you? If you simply recite, you need help, you recite Great Strength Bodhisattva, or you recite another name you're not sure about, it's the same effect. Okay? I use Great Strength. Sometimes people prefer to use the Sanskrit name. It doesn't matter. Okay? I sometimes say, hey, you. And it works too. I'm joking, of course. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but why do you have to discern to that minute level of this is Great Strength Bodhisattva by another name? How does it help your spiritual practice? That's all that matters to me. Okay? So my short answer is that maybe. Anyone else? Okay, so Amitabha Buddha says, your rebirth rate matters to me. To me, Amitabha Buddha says. If I dare put words in his mouth. I want you to know there's something called rebirth rate. Okay, where meaning that you have to earn it. Okay, the status is earned in the Pure Land. And therefore, there's some consequences in that, okay? In that your rebirth rate, okay, when you get there, okay, is affected by your current level here in the Saha world. And that's why the Buddha taught, when Amitabha Buddha and Shakyamuni Buddha taught us the Pure Land Dharma door to remind us, and which is not emphasized, unfortunately, by the Pure Land teachers. And to me, this is why I'm rebellious, because I feel this is such an important part of the Pure Land teaching, the Pure Land Dharma door, is that your rebirth rate matters. And you can affect it by your cultivation right now. It's not just about you attaining rebirth of the Pure Land, but you make sure you go there with a good grade. Okay? And your hard work here in this whole world, okay, has a direct impact on your rebirth rate over there. It's interconnected. Don't just think of going there and that's it. It's not enough. Is that clear? He basically says, I want you to cultivate now, work hard, so that you get a good rebirth rate in my Pure Land. I have 81 rebirth grades, or 9 rebirth grades. And you can affect that grade right now from the Saha world. Does it help? It's very important to understand this concept. I explained the 9 grades last night. We're not, remember not. Oh, did we get here? Go ahead. Continue. Yes. 5 fingers.
Daniel from Wei Mountain has a question.
Sure.
What is the purpose to have different rebirth grade in Pure Land? How to get there with a good grade?
How do you get there with a good grade? You start by getting into full lotus. This is what we tell Catholics. Once they become Buddhists, we teach them all the ways. Okay, anyone else? That's it? Yes, Peter, 4.
Thank you, Master. I just wanted to ask again, maybe Daniel's first question. What is the benefit of having a good grade when you reach the Pure Land?
What is the benefit?
Yeah, like if I'm, grade 7 versus grade like 78, what can you do that's different?
Yeah. It's like, what's the benefit of living in Rosemead versus living in Beverly Hills? I don't know. It's funny, I drove a guy to Stanford Medical Center. Okay, we drove him in our little van, Honda van, 2011 Honda van. Okay, and we drove through. We took 280 and took up Page Mill Road, something like that, right? Is that Page Mill Road? Okay, it's beautiful, beautiful road. I'm from Rosemead, Los Angeles. Okay, we don't have trees like that. Big trees and curvy road and winding roads. My church you can park 18 cars. That's big. Okay, but don't have enough land to have a curve on the road. For us, it's straight in, straight out. Okay, but this keep on curving around, and it's and of course there's trails, walking trails, and biking trails, hiking trails, and so forth. And I noticed something: the cars are parked there. Okay, are all black. Mercedes, BMWs, and a few Lexuses. No Hondas. Okay? My point is that I can't afford those cars. I would never buy one. Well, with my current finances. Okay? Those are the advantages. Okay? When you live in those areas, you don't drive a Honda, right? You're supposed to drive something else. That's some of the advantages of having higher social status, if you will. I'm sure many of them have helicopters and so forth. Yes? Is it clear? Some of the advantages? And the kind of tea you drink is better, and the whiskey is better. Story of my life. I feel depressed. I don't feel like talking anymore tonight. Any other questions? Suddenly I feel so depressed. Yes, 5 fingers.
Master, someone asked me this question before. Why do you want to reborn in the Pure Land with a higher grade since you will become a Buddha in one lifetime?
Because it's more fun to become a Buddha sooner. It's just like if I had a choice, if you have a choice, are you willing to wait and live in roast meat for now versus living in Beverly Hills right away? I don't want to wait. I wish I could. I don't have to wait. I didn't have to wait, if you will. Okay? Because the thing, so when you're a Buddha, there's a lot of advantages about being a Buddha that you don't have for being a Bodhisattva or being a low life. Okay? So it's a lot more advantageous, and if you will, a lot more fun, a lot more rewarding. Of course, there's serious advantages, if you will. Go ahead, JMT. Oh, wrong one.
Thank you, Master. Master, you said we have to help ourselves first before helping others. But when people around me, they keep insisting of changing my attitude, then what should I do? For example,
Your attitude? Your attitude is just fine. Don't listen to them.
Because I've been told from my family that I'm too arrogant and I'm too judgmental, which is true. But I feel like I'm not ready to face this problem yet. And I don't know how to and where to start. And we both keep afflict each other so much every day.
Does that afflict you? Are you afflicted by that? Are you?
I'm afflicted by them and they are afflicted and they say they are hurt from me.
Okay, honey. If you let people afflict you, then it's your fault. It's not their fault. So instead of trying to change, just don't get afflicted. Become a 4-stage arhat, and you look at them, all their afflictions, and say, what's the problem? The difference is that right now, you're not a 4-stage arhat yet, and therefore, when people are afflicted, you're afflicted. They afflict you. You take their afflictions and make their afflictions yours. That's because you're not a 4-stage arhat yet. So all you have to do is get to 4-stage arhat so that when people are afflicted, you look at them and say, hey, what's the problem, dude? Okay? So don't blame them. So all you have to do is to continue to practice, and the more you make progress, the less afflicted you'll be by your family members in particular, number one. Yes? Number two, another advantage for you is that they'll be more scared of you. You like that, won't you?
I was scared of them too. And they say they are afraid of being judged by me. But I was also judged by them and rejected by them.
I don't look at things that way. I feel that you are special, and they should be scared of you. They should obey you. They should listen to you. If they don't, give them a hard time. Throw a tantrum. You tell them, if you don't listen to me, I will throw a tantrum. Okay? If they don't change, become better, then you become depressed. Okay? You tell them flat out, say, you want me to make me happy. If I'm not happy, it's your fault. It's funny, I'm joking, of course, but it's funny because the whole family is scared of her. I don't know what happened. It's only because the family doesn't realize that she's changed so much. Before, she walked around like a wounded animal. Oh, you're going to hurt me some more. I feel so bad already. But now she walks around and they didn't realize that she can handle the pain and suffering. Okay? But they're still scared that she would withdraw and go spiral down into severe depression and so forth. But it's very much harder for her to do that. She only gets afflicted. She doesn't get as depressed. Am I correct?
Yes, I think.
Nay? Nay?
Yes.
Okay? So it's fun. That's part of the fun. Continue to torture them. This is when, you mean I would ask for a new car. Ask for a car. I said, having a car would change my attitude much better. I have much better attitude. Okay? This is when cultivation, pays off. You make demands. Okay? You ask for things now. Before, now they're more willing to please you. So take advantage of it. Ignore their affliction. It doesn't matter. Just tell them, hey. And if you're not sure what to do, talk to Jumi right behind you. She's very skilled. And that's my attitude, by the way. Okay. First, we attached. We have a lot of attachments, so that we can know what attachment we need to let go. So you get a nice car, ask Jumi to counsel you how to get a nice car, and once you're tired of that nice car, okay, give it to the temple. Why do you let your family afflict you? You got it made. Your family is scared of you. Your parents are scared of you. Your cousin is scared of you. Everyone is scared of you. You got it made. Don't change anything. I would not change anything.
They point out my faults, my weakness, my bad attitude toward them. And I think it's quite true because I don't treat them well enough.
That's why you ask for a car, so that you can change your attitude. You're a princess. Okay? Just Jumi's husband treats her like a princess, your family treats you like you're a princess. Okay? Enjoy it. Don't feel guilty. I would not feel guilty at all. When they complain, they say, you don't treat me well, even though I treat you like a princess. They say, okay, then give me a car. I will help me, it will motivate me to change my attitude, improve my attitude.
My family also said the temple spoiled me. Because people in the temple, they say I'm good enough. and they disagree.
Master Z, is that true? He's hiding behind the screens. Xianan, is it true? Are you spoiling her? This is news to me. Xianan Sunim, have you been spoiling her? Good Lord, how shocking. We abuse our disciples, we don't spoil them.
유미는 결코 망쳐지지 않았습니다.
Trung Xianan.
We didn't spoil her.
What?
We didn't spoil her.
You didn't spoil her. How come she says that you're spoiling her? Who am I to believe?
That's what my family said.
Sorry?
That's what my family felt.
Thinks that we're spoiling you.
I'm
Tell your family
I
it's
do
not
that.
true. It's not true. I spoil you, but my people would never spoil you. Because I feel you very special.
Thank you, Master.
See? She makes you happy. Whatever works. Okay, listen, folks. I know we joke a lot, but people are never happy. Okay, let me tell you the story about this lady here in Jewel Mountain Temple. I met her at Xianfa's Master's Temple in Viral China. Hey, Xianfa, are you ordained yet, or are they ignoring you? Okay, never mind. Master Z, ordain her. Okay? You made her wait long enough. Thank you. So I saw Yumin at Xianfa's Master's Temple, and I looked at her and I was scared. So I knew how the family would feel about her. Okay? Because she walked around with this wounded animal look. I feel so bad already. You're going to make me feel worse? What can you do? So that's why I treated her with gloves. But for some reason, she decided to come and meditate our temples and follow the Dharma and so forth. And she's got to the point right now where Yumin is actually pretty normal. She has some fits here and there and so forth, but she's good enough for me before I left Korea to tell her that you can get married now, and please have 4 kids. It's my obsession. 4 kids. Okay. Because I felt, at one point in time we were eating at the table. She looked at me and I looked at her and said, "Wow, you look happy. You look like a normal, happy person," And that's why the thought immediately came to mind, said, "You ready to get married? You can, you should get married and have some children, because if you can feel the happy inside, and then you can make your husband happy, you can make your children happy. That's important to me. Okay? That's important for you to be happy, to feel happy inside. Okay? You can share it. So it's a good thing to do. So she's come from quite a ways to get where she is. And the funny thing is that the family is still so worried about her. Okay? And because of the way she communicates with them. But that's a natural thing. It's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry about, what they say and what they do. They complain. Your family complains constantly about you. But that should not stop you from asking for cars and, trips to the U.S., another dog, a husband, dowry, stuff like that. A house in Seoul, next to the temple. It's just, normal things that will make people happier. Does it help? Get married. Continue to work hard, okay? I'm very pleased with so many of you who come regularly to JMT and Conk. It makes me very, very happy. The reason we have these way places is for you to come whenever you can, and so I'm very pleased that many of them are able to come regularly. Many of you are able to come regularly because someone asked me, how do I improve? You follow the schedule, you come as much as you can, you naturally improve. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, I'm saying that is because I started teaching 16 years ago, and there's some dear disciples of mine who just came to the temple weekend after weekend. Okay, I ignore them completely. Okay, and they still improved. So it gave me the reassurance to know that people can gain a lot from the way places. So please take advantage of them. So I'm very pleased to see when people come to our way places, bring their children, bring their husbands, their wives, and so forth, their parents, their families, so forth. Okay, it's nice. This is makes me feel good about why we're doing this, why so many of you put so much work into preparing a way place and turn this into, a Buddhist haven for a lot of people that people can benefit from. Okay? And spiritually, you don't realize it, but Master, the old monk, who's back from Vietnam already, he's going to be here tomorrow, okay? Hopefully for lunch. I heard that you're cooking something special tomorrow for lunch. Am I correct? Okay, Master old monk, better try to make it here before lunch. Okay. Ask Master Xian Ren. Okay. So I don't know what I was trying to say. Anyone remembers? What was I saying? You're special. But he came back from Vietnam, and he's anxious to come up here and see you and take over the temple here. Okay. Well, anyway, anyone else has any suggestions, especially in Korea, to Yumin about what she should do? Jumi, what do you think? Young Song says that Yumin should shave her head. And we chuckle, say, yeah, she will last one day. Yeah, anyone? You know her, you know her family better than I do. Xianan, should we take her seriously, family seriously? Should we stop spoiling her?
저희는 결코 유민을 버릇없게 하지 않았습니다. 버릇없게 만들지 않았습니다.
We didn't spoil her.
Don't her at all. No. No. Even not just here, but in Korea, even Master Z. You guys remember Master Z? He was at Go Force as well, working his butt off, trying to, like what we do here, do what we are doing here, get the temple ready and so forth, remodeling and a lot more complicated than here. And when he was there in Go Force, his, our people improved. Okay? So now you guys in Korea should take advantage of Conk and JMT, okay? Because you go there and you practice, you will make improvements and you feel better, okay? And eventually, you will figure out what to do with the family, okay? All right, we stop here tonight. Thank you all. And we're going to do the great transference, everyone.